what was the name of the program beforehand? Is it like AgView or AgWare? To form
AgView.
more AgView. How does it compare to that? And is that what you think most farm credits would be using at the moment for the most part?
Yes.
Yeah, that is pretty much right now the industry standard
Hmm.
until until uh, until they get a taste of Uconnect.
Where do you notice the biggest differences? Lee, you probably only used it for a little bit because you kind of brought Uconnect in pretty quick. But Hannah, when you were using Agware compared to now, like where do you see most of the differences across the two platforms?
One of the biggest differences that I've noticed is when somebody inputs a request and then it goes to the job manager and then it goes to eventually getting assigned either in-house or to a feed out appraiser. If something was wrong, it would have to be sent back and it would have to be in somebody's queue. And on Uconnect, anybody can go in and edit at any time. It's not like a big, this person's sending it back to me and I can't do anything until you do. So like we can all just go in and click edit. And if that makes sense, it's convenient that we can just go in and click edit and have whatever we need done right there.
Okay. Anything else besides that?
Um, there is other things. That's the biggest thing that I can like think off the top of my head, just because there's been a lot of situations, especially with like a relationship manager not being
Right.
near a computer and it's just a phone call away and I can say, well, I can select a bid. I'll just go ahead and tell you over the phone what it is. If you're not near your computer, I can just select it. So like there's a lot of things that I can do on my end and or they can do it if they're in an office setting, but if they're not, it's very easy to do it from wherever they're at, just with a phone call or through their phone. We don't have to do this through a um our like I guess association network. We don't have to be like in house to do it necessarily. I can do it from my personal phone if I wanted to.
Hmm. How about you, Lee? What have you noticed going from AgView to Uconnect?
The communication aspect, the ease of communication with AgView, there wasn't a an internal email component. Any
Okay.
communications that were between, say, the job manager and the RM were they had to be you had to get out of the system, go to Outlook, create your email, send it to them, then get back into AgView, make your changes in Uconnect. All of that is internal. You can do it all from one spot. And again, to kind of piggyback on Hannah just a little bit, anywhere in the world, you know, regardless of, I mean, you don't have to have a desktop or you
Yeah.
don't have to have your laptop to do it. You can do it from your association phone and it right there from the field, sitting in the cab of your truck. You can accept a bid. You can input a request if you so choose. iPads, are very functional with the software. So I mean, it's a great product for it. It's helped us be able to streamline the appraisal ordering process.
Mhm. So what would be the biggest motivation for other farm credits that are using this former platform? What's the big reason to look at something else? The web-based part of it, the notification and communication aspect that you guys just mentioned. What's the main driver, do you think?
There's a lot. I think all of it has to do, and I'm sure Lee will have something to touch on it also. But I just think there's a lot of good, and I know for a while there was I won't say a lot of bad, but with our other software there was somebody who was always like, well, I haven't got it back. Kind of what I was talking about earlier. Well, I haven't got it back to fix this, and everybody that inputs the request, we want to make sure that they know how to do it properly and everything. And everybody that I've heard so far, there was a learning curve for a little bit, but everybody once they get the hang of it, they just say how easy it is, and it's just so much less time consuming than what it used to be, I guess.
Mhm.
The
Major data.
entire input process is rational,
Okay.
from borrower name, property address, you know, uh, lat long. You can put that in there if you want to. Is it, is it FSA guaranteed? Is it, what is the borrower grade? All of that kind of stuff is requested, and you don't. All of that information is in front of you to send to the appraiser, um, for when the request, so that they've got all the information to be able to give you the best turn time, to be able to give you the best fee quote, or to provide, if you're internal, to provide your internal folks the most information that they can have without having to go dig through all kind of sorted PDFs that may have been sent to them. It's all right there in front of them. So, uh, being able to streamline that process and have all that input at one time really makes a huge difference, uh, in the amount of people time that it takes. Your man hours, uh, that it takes to uh, affect the process, and it helps move it along rather quickly.
Mhm. Have you guys used, maybe you're not at this point yet, but have you guys used the reporting capabilities for, the upper level management group? Are they using it all on the reporting side or not quite yet?
I use some of the reporting side,
Okay.
mostly for like turn times a lot. That's what I mainly use it for. But I've went in
Great.
there just to check up on things and to kind of like learn the software myself. But usually I use it mostly for turn times.
Okay, perfect. And how have your third party appraisals taken to you guys moving over to YouConnect?
I would say they took it pretty good. Some of them, it was just a matter of getting on a phone call and kind of walking them through how to upload their credentials and everything. But
Yeah.
once they're uploaded, it hasn't been a problem. It was just getting them uploaded. Some of them, like I said, kind of a learning curve, but since they're uploaded and it's easy and pretty easy for them too.
Okay. My last question, and you can both answer it for me. Like, would you recommend YouConnect to another farm credit and why?
I would recommend it to another farm credit. I like that everybody that we kind like I do, at least in my role as like the job manager, I kind of deal with the relationship managers and the CRSs and the person that's inputting them, the person in accounting, and everybody like depending on what part you have in Uconnect, everybody has like their part goes smoothly and they like this part or they like this feature, and so I just haven't got any really bad feedback except for, like I said, maybe just a little bit of a learning curve, but that was kind of expected. So we
Hmm.
really, it's been very nice.
Thank you. And Lee?
From the standpoint that the implementation has been that part of it was very easy. The setup and the customization that you get, the setup team is very dedicated, very thorough. You have a status. You know where you are in the implementation process. Once that process is finished and you go live, your RMs and your CRSs are going to really like the program because they know the status of where their requests are at any given time. There's no having to pick up the phone and call somebody to find out where your appraisal is. Um, if it's back and it's input, you know that because it tells you right on the dashboard. If it's in review, it's noted on the dashboard. If there's a dispute, it's noted on the dashboard. Everything is right there in front of the RM for them to know where the request is, and that helps your CRSs be more efficient because they're not constantly having to stop and look up where appraisals are, so that they can continue to focus on other things. And I guess, to sort of tie it all up, this product is scalable. I mean, it grows with the organization. Whether you've got uh, whether you're processing 50 requests a month, or you're processing 500 or even 1,000 requests a month, this product works. And because it's web based, uh, you don't have business continuity issues. All of that, as long as you've got a cellular and a generator, you can run UConnect. I've proven it. So uh, uh, that part of it sells itself just right there. But what you know, I've been involved with UConnect for a little over 7-8 years now, um, and have implemented it at two different organizations. And you're never going to find a more genuine, um, dedicated, and trustworthy team that actually care about your organization. Uh, if that's the type of software that you're looking for. If you want a 2-minute setup, and never being able to get in touch with anybody when you have technical issues, turn to go somewhere else. But if you want somebody that when you pick up the phone or when you send an email, you know that it's going to be looked at and you're going to get somebody's attention immediately, UConnect is the way to go.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I one of my I've kind of said what we like and the feedback that I've got, but one of the better things that I've also noticed is um, a lot of things can be done from the admin role. Like I can go in and do it myself, and whereas other softwares, they'll get back to you in like a couple business days, and I'm like, we
Yeah.
need it now. So it is very nice to be able to just send an email, and I really have not sent an email and haven't heard back within a couple, like an hour or so. It's never been days, that's for sure. So that does like matter a lot.